It's stuff like this that absolutely makes it diabolical to believe in the justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Michigan man who defended his property and you'll be surprised who he had defended from. You see, there was 6 dudes essentially like coming for whatever he had in his garage. And his house is on this side, by the way. I thought this was his house, but this is actually the neighbor's house. His house is like I'd say like a 3-foot difference, like, because this is one of those separated garages. And obviously hearing 6 armed, they're not armed actually. We don't like, he actually didn't know if they were armed, but hearing people, like multiple individuals, break into his property, he grabs his firearm and he defends his property. And this is the judge and what she has to say about this, because he was allegedly charged with this. And I'm not gonna say I don't understand her angle here. So let's listen to it and let's talk about it. Because actually no, let's listen to this. And there's actually a news that covered the article that covered the situation, and the parents actually heard about this, and even they are like, even what they had to say about the situation is diabolical. Because I'm like, huh?
Because you do have some empathy and sympathy for the defendant, understanding that his property had been broken.
And so this is a picture of the homeowner. This is a picture of one of the guys, and 17 years old with your buddies going to go rob some guy's house, mask up, shiesty up, hoodie on. What is happening? Like, what is happening with the youth? Because I didn't feel a lot. It's like, if I was, this is like a scene of a horror movie. You see more than 5 guys coming to rob you, and so the best thing you could do is get your firearm, because they outnumber you and you don't know if they are armed. And it's like, it's a realistic situation to say, yeah, let me get my gun.
Broken into, the testimony looks like at least twice prior to this incident.
For those, if you didn't hear what she just said, this person got broken into twice before this. This isn't the first time someone has tried to steal from his property. So it seems like he's been scoped. His property's been scoped multiple times because they know there's something valuable in this garage. And it's it's the age-old situation, right? You have something that somebody else wants and they want to come get it, like when they think they'd have the best chance.
Understanding, and there could have certainly been some real fear on that evening, but the court also notes that the law does not allow you to use deadly force to protect your property. In this particular case,
I beg your pardon? What is wrong with Michigan? It doesn't allow you to protect your property? What?
it was a detached garage. The defendant in this case put himself in the situation. The self-defense argument becomes more difficult when the video shows and the evidence shows that he shot into the garage.
Also, side note, I don't know if you guys can see it because I just paused the video, but I'm gonna go back a few seconds. Why do you have a stuffed animal on your desk? Like, what in the world? Why do you have a doggy on your desk? Like, what are we doing, man? Like, these judges need to take their job a bit more seriously. Because not only is her assessment of this diabolical, but you have a dog on your desk? What is wrong with you?
Well, when the video shows and the evidence shows that he shot into the garage blindly twice before any of the people, the burglars or the people inside, exited.
Yeah, that's the point. Yes, when you have multiple individuals trying to steal from you, you make sure to address yourself in a very deadly manner, meaning like introduce yourself in the most visceral way possible, because you don't know if they're here to harm you. You don't know if you don't know how many they are. You just fire out there and make sure they get the message. I'm armed and dangerous. Stay away from me.
The video, the evidence, that being the video, clearly shows that he was shooting at the people who were inside in the garage, the people who were attempting to burglar the garage. He was shooting at them as they were running away.
Yeah. Life is not a movie. You don't know if, and revenge is a very real thing. You don't know what these people want from you. You don't know where they came from. You don't know if this is some sort of gang related affiliated thing. You just know they're coming to harm me, or they're coming to take from me, and I don't want them to come back. And so of course he's gonna fire at them as they're trying to escape. What type of insane person is gonna let their enemy try to escape and come back? It doesn't make sense. And so her assessment is essentially like, this is a bad thing. What would you like? You know, I hear these judges and politicians, they got security, they got the greatest high-tech equipment like security cameras, because you know their wages are greater than ours. And so I get it, you don't have to deal with these type of scenarios because you leave it in somebody else's hands too. But me as the normal citizen, I have to make sure that my life, possibly my wife, possibly my kids are safe, and they will stay safe. And I don't want anybody that is coming around me to ever want to affect them. You know what I'm saying? And so what is the verdict? What does she say after this?
So that in and of itself is certainly probable cause to show that he did intend great bodily harm.
What an absolute travesty of judgment. Now then, so let's see what some of the comments have to say. He put himself in this situation, ? By being at home on his property, never leaving it, he put himself in the situation. So right off the bat, people are calling that out as stupid. A one-sided justice system that protects black offenders while neglecting the people they harm. So many such cases. You know, that is a conversation for the modern era. You know, labeling everybody a troubled youth, or judging everyone based on a sort of I guess minorities here and white people there is just unfair. It's stupid. If this is the judge proceeding your case, pack it up. You're cooked. Let's see. When they say teen, they mean oh yeah. So right off the bat, Twitter is not having it. Twitter is being diabolical. And generally, I would say, naturally, that is its own part of the conversation. But the real conversation is these judges being soft on criminals. Like, criminals trying to take from you, no matter their skin color, should be treated with extreme prejudice. You shouldn't have been there, and so therefore what the citizen, the law-abiding, tax-paying citizen did to you was well deserved. First and foremost, they defended their property. You know, and like you pay for the lights, you pay for the mortgage, you pay for how much the cost of this house is, which is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm pretty sure you pay something like property taxes. So taxes and all types of admission and fees. And you still have to suffer somebody breaking into your property and doing whatever they want, and you can't defend it. That's stupid. Like I feel like Nevercracker, for those who don't know, like whatever his name was, like Nevercracker, I'm pretty sure that's his name, from the Monster House. You know, that crazy old man, get off my lawn. I'm like, nah, I agree with him. As I get older, I'm like, yes, stay off my grass. You know how much that grass costs? You know how much every square foot of land I own costs me? Like, no, like it, time, resources, money. Like, this is ridiculous. Stay off my property. And so let's see what this news channel assessment of the situation is, and then we're going to go into the text, because I'm really itching to get into the Bible, of how the Bible already prepared you to deal with this situation and justice, but you chose evil in your secular way of thinking.
New at 5, a White Lake homeowner has been charged with manslaughter in a shooting back in July that raised some questions.
The prosecutor says Dayton Napton shot a 17-year-old who was trying to steal items from his garage. Let's get.
Oh yeah, side note, one of the people he did shoot, unfortunately, did pass away, and I think it is unfortunate. But I ain't even lie. Based on what the parents have to say, I'm gonna give y'all my verdict in a minute.
Get out to Erica Erickson. She's live tonight with the latest details in this case. Erica, the prosecutor says Napton crossed a line here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different sides we're hearing. We're hearing from the prosecutor's office, that man's defense attorney, and the family of that teen who was shot and killed, and they're upset.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it hurts a lot.
4 months after 7.
So that's the mother talking. It doesn't make sense and it hurts a lot. You know, it doesn't make sense. You're 17-year-old getting into crime. Mom, what is going on here? Like, lady, like why does your son know how to break into garages? I think that the parents should be held responsible. And you know, I think we should introduce new laws, because this is ridiculous. If you're gonna charge the person who fired back on his would-be assailants, why are not the parents of these minors being not charged in situations like this, where they they're responsible for feeding, for taking them to school, and they're not responsible for if they get into trouble? Absolutely not. We should start demanding laws that challenge and, dare I say, put parents in a pretty bad situation if their child ends up, especially as they are minors. So if they're 18 plus, like, we can introduce either laws of, hey, okay, this law only extends as far as this person is in your house, maybe like as they are your dependent or something like that, or we could just cut it off at 18. But the point is, if your child, before they reaches the status of adult, living on their own, is in the world doing diabolical stuff, you should pay the price for it. You should be held responsible for it. You should spend some time, get a crazy fine, because some sort of deterrent that essentially makes it absolutely non-negotiable for their parents to for the parents to know where their child is. I think that if we introduce something like this, I think it will be fair, or maybe at least a little fair, for these weird liberal laws that says, yes, you cannot defend your property with deadly force. Utterly outrageous.
17-year-old Savon Wilson of Pontiac shot and killed in White Lake Township. His family says the charges have them confused.
I think the way they went about it could have been done better.
24-year-old Dayton Napton charged with manslaughter, assault with intent.
He's right. It could have been done better. The parent should be charged also with manslaughter, also with child neglect. What else? In child endangerment. Like, what was the timing on that video? I think it was something along the lines of like 6 o'clock in the morning. So let's go up a little bit. Like, cause what's the timing of that camera footage, real quick?
Because
let me zoom in. It says 1 a.m. 1:05 a.m. How do you not know where your child is at 1 o'clock in the morning? Like, what is happening, bro? Like, how do you not know? Like, I had a curfew to be inside by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For those who don't know, school gets out at like 3:30. I have to be inside, or else, let's just say, a few times I got that belt, and as a growing youth, like, that belt wasn't enough. So let's just say my mother made sure that I'm gonna be in that house. I'm gonna be in that house by the time school ends with a small window, because yes, people go missing. Child trafficking is a real thing in this country, and she does not want me to be amongst that statistic. So please, understand it's within reason. But let's keep going.
To do great bodily harm and 2 counts of felony firearm for the death of Wilson and shooting another teen in the leg. Wilson's family says they want Napton charged. And
so this is the house right here. I think I might adjust it. This might be 4 to 5 feet. And so he came out the back, basically like right around here, and they were breaking into his house right around here. And she says because it's a separate garage, he introduced him to the situation, which is so stupid and diabolical, because these judges and the law famously will not replace their property. They'll just look for the assailant and allegedly bring him to justice, and then you have to go to this weird process of waiting for the courts and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, let me defend my property myself, and then nothing will be lost except maybe the life of my would-be attackers.
With murder.
It doesn't make sense that it wasn't done out of malice, and for them to charge him with manslaughter when everything in the report is suggesting that it was malicious intent.
Oh no, this is the sister. My bad. This is not the mother. This is actually the sister. I had to correct myself in real time. But yeah, sister, your brother was out at 1 o'clock in the morning. What's going on? No, out of order.
Back in July, prosecutors say Wilson, along with 6 others, broke into Napton's detached garage. Napton coming out with a 9mm. Prosecutors say firing 2 shots through a windowless, locked garage door. Then, as the group ran away, prosecutors say Napton shot at them 5 more times, ran back inside, reloaded his gun, and came back outside.
Devon was running away and got shot.
So this is the father.
I never heard anything about him getting shot in the garage.
But
You never heard about him leaving the house at 1 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the morning. You never heard anything about your son breaking into garages. I don't want, like, failure of a father. I'm sorry. Like it has to be said. When your child thinks it's allegedly okay to be out of the house, and dare I say, you're so unaware that your child's out of the house at 1 o'clock in the morning, that's ridiculous. And you know what? It probably was a school night or a Friday night.
say Wilson hit and killed from a bullet fired through the locked door.
We had a really close connection. So it hurts a lot. I would have never expected this to happen to him. He had so many dreams and aspirations.
Ah, yes, so many dreams and aspirations. Well, let's just say one of those dreams and aspirations was allegedly breaking into a garage and hitting a lick on somebody. And so all that to say, not good. Not like according to what I heard from the family, I thought it was the mother, but it was actually the sister. Like the father said something ridiculous. The judge made a ridiculous judgment. I don't like it. What does the comments have to say for this one? Charge the parents for raising criminals. Yep. Very simple, right? Charge them for raising criminals. Let's see. Should never be charged for ending the dreams of robbing other people's properties. That's a little play on the dreams of aspirations. He did the world a favor. So people are not happy. How about the 17-year-old not breaking into people's homes? Shouldn't be any charges. 7 guys in his garage. That's self-defense. Well, job well done. And so it seems that everybody is of the same accord in this situation, where it's like, we know what self-defense looks like, and we know a situation that is unfair in the hands of somebody else, right? Like it is unfairly being judged. And people get this where? From the Bible. The Bible was the first to speak on stuff like this. Exodus chapter 22 verses 2-3 says this: if a thief is found breaking in and is struck that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him. But, verse 3, if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. Now that's the end of that sentence. So what does it mean that the sun be risen? Well, naturally, it essentially means that day versus night. If a person is found breaking in at night and he is killed, there shall be no blood guilt, meaning you're not guilty of murder here. You did what you're supposed to do in these situations. It's the dead of night. Somebody's breaking in. There is no good in them. You had to do what you had to do, is what the law is saying, because you can't see, and there is nobody to see what they're doing. They're trying to get around the system, and thus, and dare I say, honor and integrity, right? Because what happens at night? Nobody can see it, right? We have cameras in the modern day, but that's a modern consequence, not something that's expected. So the law is actually saying, yes, if you get into this type of altercation, you are allowed to defend yourself with deadly force, as you should. It is your right. It is self-defense. Somebody breaking in, doesn't matter. Breaking into your property. If your property is properly established, you should have the right to defend yourself. This is Old Testament speaking, and the Old Testament is good in the New Testament, because Jesus said, I have not come to destroy the law. Do not think this. I have anything I can fulfill it. Make it actually plain and better. But anyways, but it also gives a clause. And so this clause of it being, if the sun has risen, there shall be a blood guilt for him, basically means usually in the day, right? Daytime. There can be witnesses and an account, because people are active. There are multiple eyes. And so we can actually piece together the break-in, the assailant, and thus you shouldn't have to use deadly force is essentially what Moses is putting here in this case-by-case law. In the dead of night, it's essentially open season, because we don't know what that person is and what they're doing, and you got to make sure to protect yourself before he wrecks anything in yourself. You know what I'm saying? But in the daytime, no, don't kill him. You can't do that, because obviously, like, we can identify this person, and Therefore, there's more context to the situation. But this next sentence is essentially is if seeing how you can't kill him, seeing how if it's during the daytime and there should be no death here. Now he has to pay the robber. The robber shall surely pay. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. In other words, he has to work off his debt. He has to work off his debt. If he has something, all right, like obviously reallocate those resources for what was damaged in the property. But if he doesn't, then he has to work off that debt somehow. And so, if the Old Testament made it very clear that this is what justice looks like, what happened, bro? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Proverbs 21 verse 17. No, 15, my bad. When justice is done, it is a joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers. What happened was it got flipped. Justice is done as a terror to the righteous and a joy to evildoers. The one thing that has not been addressed in this situation is the fact that because this person is a criminal, because this person robbed somebody, they put themselves in this situation. They initiated themselves into a situation they had no business being there. And so it is actually right for a person to put themselves in defense of their property with deadly force. Why? Because it's theirs and you shouldn't be taking it. Justice has been flipped and it is destroying the lives of good tax-paying people, and it sucks. You know, innocent individuals. Isaiah 61 verse 8 says this, "For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrong." So notice that it makes robbery, it's notable here. God hates wrongdoing, he hates wickedness, but he puts robbery right here. He hates when people want to take from others. It is not good. You're not an innocent person. And he says this, "I will faithfully give them recompense, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them." Obviously talking about the righteous and those who he wants to actually defend. But let's keep going. Zechariah chapter 7 verse 9 says this, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, render true judgments, show kindness and mercy to one another." It is not merciful or true judgments to show kindness and mercy to those who did wrong by punishing the righteous. You're actually supposed to give that person mercy. You're actually supposed to identify with that person who was wronged in the situation. And just because you who are intending to do wrong got wronged yourself, nobody should defend you. Nobody should defend you because that is implicitly agreeing and, dare I say, allowing what you did to do, like allowing the wrong that you did, the first wrong, right, to be okay. And we don't want a world like that. We don't want a world like that where wrong is justified. So the question becomes, in like, how long? Essentially, how long will you continue to go about things this way? Psalm chapter 82 verses 2-4. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Selah. Give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. I don't care about your liberal morals, you useless liberal judges. I care about what you do to people who were already doing right, but somebody's wrong action put them in the crossfire, and so they did the best they could to defend what they own. It is ridiculous that judges are weak on criminals who do wrong to the innocent. And she acknowledges that this person has been broken into multiple times before. And so how long? How many situations are we going to have where innocent people are killed by essentially crazy people who do them wrong? How many situations are we going to have where the innocent is punished because of the weakness of those who judge over them, who proceed protecting the rights of the evil people? How long? Because it's getting ridiculous. Like you wonder what radicalizes generation, stuff like this. You wonder why people have no real tolerance for liberal and progressive thought. This right here, because the end result is they get neglected, they get rejected, they get boxed into it, like in a place where they don't belong, and they get did wrong, and that's terrible. That's horrible. And so it's a sad situation. It's absolutely tragic, and that's just kind of where I'm at the end, because sometimes situations like this happen, and it is sucked to see. This judge will not face any trouble for this, and this man walks away with a manslaughter charge for defending his property. It's tragic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this judge actually had like did right, or do you think some other thing? I'd love to hear what you have to say. With that being said, God bless and stay blessed. This video was a little bit long, but generally, I think I wanted to give this one a little bit of sit down and kind of piece it through, because this situation it sucks. It really sucks. But just a reminder: protect yourself. You gotta be careful out there. The laws of your state could be against you. The laws of your state could be for you. And you gotta put these into perspective, especially as a good, innocent, just trying to get by person. Like what is going on, man? I swear. God help him. God help him.